Dumb and Dumber. What is there to say about Dumb and Dumber? I had never actually seen the film before. I'm not a big fan of what would be considered stupid comedies. And with a title like Dumb and Dumber, I went into it not expecting a whole lot, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I actually did find it funny in some places, even though usually I find stupid comedies stupid. But then again, it's probably because Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels are really, really good actors. They're excellent actors. Even though this may not necessarily be their best work, it's definitely not the worst comedy I've ever seen. It had some really funny parts. Like, a lot of the humor was actually pretty smart, and it had a lot of random humor, and I'm a fan of random humor. But it had just a little too much toilet humor for my taste. Not a big fan of toilet humor. There were a couple scenes where I almost lost my supper. One was the scene where the cop drank the piss, which is... no. The other was whenever they ate the hot peppers, and they were just pouring ketchup and mustard down their throat to try and dilute the spiciness. Sorry, that's just kind of yucky to me. It's definitely, it's not the grossest comedy I've ever seen either. I've seen a couple really gross comedies, but it's not terrible. It's not. There were things to like about it. Mainly the acting. Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels are, as I've said before, they're great actors, and it's a movie about two guys traveling across country to get this briefcase, which happens to be full of money, to this lady that seemingly accidentally left it at the airport. And the ending just kind of made me go, that sucks! When it turned out that the lady was married, that was her name, when it turned out that she was married, when it turned out that Mary was married, that's, wow. Poor Lloyd. I was actually really hoping he'd get the girl in the end, just because he came so far for her. But then the second ending happened with the bus full of bikini girls, and I'm just like, how dumb can you guys get? But all in all, not a bad movie. Not the best movie I've ever seen, but definitely not the worst. Would I watch it again? Probably not, unless, I'm just... I hit my lip. Unless I was at a party, with, some vodka, maybe some Jaeger bombs, and about a dozen or so friends. But would I watch it on my own again? Probably not. Would I recommend it? I would recommend it to fans of mindless comedy. That's pretty much what it is a mindless comedy. But as far as mindless comedy goes, it's a pretty decent one. Nothing else really to be said about this movie. It's okay. It's not great. It's not terrible. Enough said.